Hi, welcome to Messy Imperfect Life with Leigh. I'm so happy you're here. Make sure that you subscribe and you click the bell so you get notifications because today I have on, I kind of think of him like a Renaissance man. Um, at the last second when I looked at the internet, it said Chris Breed was called the King of Hollywood by the Los Angeles Times, and I have him here right now on my podcast. Welcome, Chris Breed.
Hello, how are we all doing out there?
How in the heck are you?
Great, lovely. I was out at the what do they call that bowling alley in Hollywood. I was there last night with a group. So we did a little bowling, had a few cocktails, got a little later than I expected. So I hope I look okay on camera. I know I'm not going to look my best in the morning.
Did you hydrate and have a cup of coffee, or what happened?
No, I just had a coffee. Yeah, I just had one. I
Um,
just rolled out and got a coffee. Yes.
so I don't know if I think I've told you this a lot, but I just want to remind you. Keep me in the back of your freaking mind when you go do fun things.
Okay.
Because I've gone a couple places with you and you are like a rock star here and everyone freaking loves you and it's fun to be in your wake.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I do get that a lot. When I go out in Hollywood, a lot of the guys come up to me and say, "Hey, the legend," because I did have a lot of hot clubs over the years. The first one I did was Roxbury, and they did the Night of the Roxbury, the movie with Will Ferrell and Chris Kattan.
Uh-huh.
So that was a really, fun time. And then I went on to open the Sunset Room, White Lotus, Pig and Whistle, Green Door,
Damn.
Cabana Club, and lots of other places. So
Where did that come from? Where did that come from? Because were you a model when you were in England or did that start when you were here?
no, I started in England. I mean, I actually, the first job after my father died of kidney disease, which I had, we'll get into that later. But, my first job, I moved to London and I was, working with my father. He had a little carpentry joiner business. And then I moved to London. And then the first job I landed was on a nightclub door as kind of the selector host guy right in the West End of London. So I worked that nightclub scene a little bit in London and kind of got the bug there. But then I went on to be a model. I had an agent come in and said,
Did the agent see you when you were doing the selecting at the club?
Yeah. And he said, you should come work for my agency. You're wasting your time in this business. Should be in the movies.
So it's kind of been that way from the get-go that everybody wants you. Everybody wants you a part of their thing.
Something like that. Anyway, so then I started modeling and I was playing rugby with my mates. And then the next thing I'm in these like ads and commercials like Soft and Gentle and stuff like that. And I had all my rugby mates taking the piss out of me. But
I was going to say, because rugby's a badass, no pad, cauliflower ear fighting game.
Yeah, it was great. I loved it, rugby. But, the funny thing is, I jumped board on that. So I was thinking of quitting and staying with my working at the club and playing rugby and being a man,
Yeah.
But then I started seeing the checks come in, and I said, "Fuck them! I'm doing it."
Hey, that's what's cool about it is because a lot of models you think are just kind of like this, but I like the ones that are like there's one guy that's a Ralph Lauren model, but he's also a huge polo player, like a badass polo player. And I think it's cool when you have that kind of rugged thing and you're a model instead of just like
when you show up to a job with a black eye and a bruised cheek or something, then the client gets a little bummed. But it's all part of the game, right?
So were you kind of hot like when you were young and a lot of girls chasing you in high school and stuff like that? Like, did you already know you were pretty cute?
I think I was a little awkward at that age. I was shy actually at that point in my life. I think, until I got into, I suppose, into my teens when I started working. I mean, in England, we started working early. So I kind of like left school at 16. I was working at that time. And then you're dealing with like, men and older people, and you're like, have to really start fending for yourself. That's when you start getting some confidence, I think. All through school, I was just, a regular boy, shy from girls, that sort of thing. And then as soon as I got to work and I started making my own money and dealing with other people on a daily basis, I was like, okay, I can hold my own. And then that just transitioned into meeting girls and having fun.
So that's one thing we have in common. We both like to have fun. Like you
Yeah.
have such energy and charisma, and you're just kicking it and out there. And it's. I feel like I'm not like that as much. Like, but in a woman, like I'm so open for fun and want. And the thing I remember right when I met you is that I'm kind of glad I had no idea who you were, because then I might have been like a little intimidated. But I love when I meet people and I really don't give a shit who they are or know who they are, because then it's just authentic. And I was sitting next to you. I was like, oh, he's nice looking. And then I was like, oh my gosh, he's funny. And we were belly laughing hard, which I
We
so
were.
enjoyed.
Really we couldn't stop that day. I don't know what it was.
But I have to tell you, it brought me such joy, because it's rare that I can go, ah, I like that weird laugh that's like, you don't even do the start part, you just go into the heavy part.
Yeah.
And you would join me in that. And it brought me such freaking joy. And I remembered, I just have to say this, that I had, come out of my marriage and I dated a guy for 2 years and just broke up with him. And I was like, it's time for me to be alone. And I was like, God, I am going to focus on me. I'm going to write my book. I'm not going to date or go sideways. And then I met you. I was like, holy hell, God, like if I was going to date or somebody, this guy is cool. Like he's a stud. He's like a Renaissance man. He's got so many things going. And you had a kind heart, which we're going to talk about when you start talking about your nonprofit. And then I was like, all right, God, wait a second. I told you I was going to date. I'm committed to that. And then you were like, oh, Leigh, by the way, I'm married. I go, thank God, because I was going, I'm attracted to him, but it's not in that way. It's in this robust living life. What the hell can we do together to make the world a better place?
Yeah, I definitely got the energy from you, Leigh. I think you're a marvelous woman and you're doing great things. So that's why I'm on your podcast, my love.
Yay! And I'm so tickled pink about it. Yes. So we kind of mentioned it twice, and I would like to jump in right now about, you said that your father, which I didn't know, had kidney disease.
Yeah.
And he died from it?
Yeah, it's a hereditary disease. It's called polycystic kidney disease, and eventually cysts take over your kidney function. So I knew at some point, in my later 40s, I got to have a kidney transplant, right? I knew that was going to happen. It gradually comes up. You start, kidney function gets worse, and then you got to have a transplant. I was blessed because I had a friend of mine who's an absolute, godly man. And his name's Brian Berg, and he gave me one of his kidneys. So I didn't have to go on dialysis like my father did. When my kidneys failed, the next day we went to the hospital together, and we walked in laughing, and I left laughing. He didn't leave laughing.
So he was laid up for a little bit, huh?
He was laid up, and I was laid up too, but I was feeling so good because this kidney was working in my body and it was cleaning all that poison from my blood and all that creatinine. And I just started feeling this surge of energy back in myself. And I was like, wow, that's how it feels like to have a good kidney in you. So it really made a difference. And, I was like, I've got to give back. This is like too much good I'm getting out of life. And not just because of the kidney, but the life I've had. So I started my Breed Life Foundation, and started working with a couple of doctors at UCLA. One particular friend, the guy who sewed my kidney in, he's a great surgeon at UCLA, Dr. Jeffrey Veal. And him and I started doing some events at some of my celebrity friends' house. The first one we did was up at Jane Seymour's house in Malibu. And it was a big success. And he got to talk about some of the programs happening at UCLA. And I got to raise some money through Breed Life Foundation for the programs he was doing. One was called thechain.org, which is a kidney chain where somebody who doesn't match somebody, you can put, two people want to give them a kidney, but they don't match. So now the one who wants to give the kidney gives it to someone else. It goes around until the kidney comes back and matches this guy's or this lady's. So it's a chain. It's like a chain reaction. You give one to get one, to give one to get one. And that program he came up with, he's
I
incredible.
love that.
And then another one they came up with the voucher program, which is a very similar thing. You give a kidney now in your life, and then any of your family members who may need a kidney in the future have this voucher, and they can go to the front of the line and get their kidney. Because in LA right now, if you're on dialysis, the wait list is 10 years to get a kidney. And
What?
most people, 10 years, and most people die within like 6-7 years of dialysis treatment. So it's not.
We have a couple questions. So, A, we have 2 kidneys and we only really need one to function?
Yes.
So we all have a spare to donate?
Yes. Yes, everybody
Okay,
does.
and your dad was on dialysis, but he didn't have a match back in the day?
No, he did get a kidney, but he got it from a deceased, and those kidneys are good. Sometimes it depends on when they get it out of the body. His kidney was a little, like shot the time he got it in his body. So he had to take a lot of steroid to try to keep it going. And in the end, it rejected after a year, and the kidney failed. And he didn't have another option, and he was already too weak to get another kidney and died. So that's why my father.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You know, this whole podcast is Messy Imperfect Life, and it's talking about something messy, what you learn from it, and how you're using it as a source for good now. And it's almost like your mission with the Breed Life, which I love that name.
Thank you. Name.
Yeah. What'd you say?
It's my last name, right? Breed. So,
yes. And it's so good because you are breeding life, right? You're literally breeding your kidney to give to someone so they can live.
Yeah, giving life to others through Breed Life. Yeah, that's true.
I really love that. And so you took this thing, right, that you watched your father die from. You knew eventually it was coming. It came. And now you're using that to be of service and to make a difference in the world. And I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
I think that's why we're here. We're here to kind of get our mess, learn from it, and then use it to be of service. I think that life can be that simple and fulfilling. And I do applaud you for that.
Thank you so much. And, obviously, if anybody's interested, they can contact you, Leigh, and put them on to me. Breed Life Foundation. If they're interested in donating a kidney, I can get all that information. There are a lot of people in need out there for sure who are sitting on dialysis. There was a story where, a lady gave a kidney out the goodness of her heart. Breed Life now is tracking people because a lot of times if you give a kidney, you don't know who it goes to. And, the next day you gave a kidney, you drive it on the 405. Where did my kidney go? Who has it? Who did I help? Who did I save? And you have a lot of questions. So I started with the Breed Life Foundation, I started putting these people together. And I got a lady out of LA, and she went up to Seattle and met her kidney went to a guy up in Seattle who had 4 children. And they look at her like she's the goddess. She saved the dad. And now they love her, the kids, and they write to her now, or birthdays and holidays, and now she has a relationship with these 4 kids because she saved the dad, and obviously the dad is indebted to her too, but that's a relationship she would never have had under normal circumstances. It's only that Breed Life really promotes that. So if you give a kidney through Breed Life, I make sure that you know where your kidney goes.
I love that so much. I just heard the other day, a friend of a friend's child died, and she, the woman that was telling me about it, she was like, he died, or they had to take him off life support. And I was just like devastated listening to the story. And then she said the upside was they got to donate, and they helped so many people with his organs. And I thought about you because I remember you telling me you link people up, and I thought, what a blessing would it be for that mother who lost her child to see how he changed so many lives.
Yeah, I know that normally goes through One Legacy. A body does. It goes through One Legacy, and I know the president of One Legacy And yeah, I mean, that's
Of
fabulous.
course you do.
Yeah, when someone donates a body through One Legacy, that's the main organization in Los Angeles, and that body goes to save so many children. You know, they use every part of the body: the heart, the eyes, the liver, the lungs, the kidneys. Everything is, you know, donated out, and it's amazing that families do that.
It's so amazing. Like I couldn't imagine not, because this is just like a temporary suit, right? That we're wearing. It's
Yeah,
housing our soul for a blip of time. But like when we're out of the suit, it's just it's just an empty sack. So it's
yeah,
like, I know on my thing it's donor. I put the little pink donor dot,
good,
but
good.
I think that's something that I haven't really thought that much about, but I would like to encourage everyone to do that, because when you're out of your body, it's just dust, you know, it's going to nothing. So to be able to provide life or to help another person is, you know, the ultimate give, but not really, because you're already not needing it.
Right. Well, I'm on the board of the entertainment board for the Red Cross, and they do so many things for people and around the country and around the world. And you know, one of the things we found out is people who donate blood are more likely to donate a kidney. So, you know, and mostly
Mm.
women actually. More women donate a kidney than men. More women donate blood than men. So you know,
Wow.
women are life givers, right? So women are life givers, and that is a fact. So
Wow.
I remember when I've had events and I've asked if anybody's interested in donating a kidney, please come and sign up. And it's, you know, I would say 85% women sign. If they're out of the men who sign up, they want to know more information or more interest in what the program's about. Yeah.
Let me ask about that. So if I want to donate a kidney, I'm not committing to it. I'm just asking. If I
It's
want
already
to,
done. I'm coming over with the ice.
oh no, you're going to just do it at my house? I'm just going to wake up and it's going to be gone like I see in movies?
Yeah, you'll be laying in a bathtub of ice. You'll be all
Oh
right.
God, you'll be all right. Don't worry. So, um, so if I was to give one, um, I like immediately in my mind, I'm like, am I going to need that? Well, I need it back. What if I need that? No.
Well, no, the thing is what you do. If you donated a kidney, first of all, you'd put all your four children on the voucher, right? We'd have it like, so if ever they needed a kidney or had a kidney issue in the future, you can name up to 5 people on a voucher. So you'd put all your 4 kids on the voucher,
I have
right?
5.
Or 5 then, sorry. They have 5, you have
I
5, that's how many you
So
can
they
put on.
would take up my whole voucher.
Yeah, they'd fill out your voucher, right? Now you give a kidney because you're a good age to give a kidney. You can give a kidney, but say in 20 years' time, you probably wouldn't feel the same about donating a kidney. And then one of your kids needed a kidney. Now your kidney is going to be too old for them, right? But if you give it now, you get a voucher and they go in front of the line anytime and your kidney goes stay alive
Mm.
now, but then you have 5 people on that voucher. You could use it for any time any of your family need it and
Wow,
go.
I like how there's incentives, right?
Yeah, oh yeah, there's incentives now. So that's you know, this is what my doctor at UCLA has created all these incredible programs, and he's worked so tirelessly to
Mm.
make this stuff happen. And also, you know, he just came up with a kidney transplant and stem cells. So now he does, if it's a live donor, you take the stem cell out of the live donor, out of their blood for a couple, 2-3 weeks. You take a few different sessions of blood out. You spin the stem cell out. We hold the stem cell until the day of the kidney transplant.
Mm.
When we do the kidney transplant from the donor to the recipient, we hit the recipient with a stem cell from the donor also, and he doesn't have to take any rejection pills anymore. So
Wow.
I have to take 12 every 12 hours. I have to take rejection pills. Now the new stuff right now, we've already done 3 surgeries. It's FDA approved at UCLA, and with a stem cell also. So it's amazing. And Jeff Veal did that program. It took him
What's his last name?
Veal.
FELD? Veal.
Yeah, FEALD.
Oh,
Sorry,
Field.
Veal.
Ve-
Yeah. Here,
Yeah.
I'm going to give you it, but I know it, but I'm just going to 100%
Oh,
rate
wow, that doctor, right? He
it.
got
It's
he's
Veale, Veal.
Veale, like veal with E on the end.
Yeah,
Okay. So, um, he specialized in kidney transplants, right?
yeah, yes.
And that became his mindset. And then he's watching a 10-year wait list. So instead of wringing his hands and complaining of how everything's screwed up with the government, he starts creating things to change it.
That's why he's such a brilliant man. He hangs out with me a bunch, so I'm sure you'll run into him with me one day.
I would love to meet him. I would
Yeah,
love to meet him and thank him. And it's that forward thinking that, you know, so often, especially now, people just want to freaking complain about
yeah,
everything. And I'm like listening, going, oh my gosh, if you took that energy and took action, instead of sitting and bitching, to harness that energy and do something for change, holy hell, would the world be a better place and everybody be a little happier because they're being active and doing good.
yeah. When you do good, it makes you feel good. That's for sure.
That's damn right. If anyone were to thank you for sharing about your journey with your kidney and your father and your foundation and this doctor, because you know I'm going to make sure that we hashtag all of this stuff so the people who are on the 10-year wait list, that they can get some information and
100%. Yeah, they can get information. Yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Um, so shifting just a tiny bit, after I met you and I was like, God, yeah, because you're fun and you can tell I didn't even know who you were, what you did, but you could tell you're successful because you just the people around you and the fun you're having and everything. And then when I Googled you, I looked and there's like every hot model or actress is on your arm at one point or another in these photos. And I know some of them were years ago, but it's just so fun to scroll through. You guys, if you look up Chris, Breed, and just Google his name and all the images that come up, I'm like, holy hell. What is it? What is it? Because most men would like one of those girls on their arm. I mean, even for a photo.
Yeah. Well, yeah,
So,
obviously, most of these were friends who I at some point had, like they was at my club or we was out at a certain event or something like that. Or I used to take girls out to events because obviously you look better than going with a couple of dudes if you bring a couple of nice ladies.
right.
Right? If you go to a Beverly Hills party or you go into some, Hollywood premiere, it's better to have a nice looking girl on your arm than a dude, right?
Yeah.
Well, for some guys, maybe. So, I mean, that was that. But, I still have loads of friendships and I'm introduced a lot of women to different great guys, and a lot of women have been married through my introduction, and vice versa, men and women. And they're like, hey, Chris, we've got 4 kids. You introduced us. We had so much fun with you back in the day. And, so great that you introduced us. And this happens time and time again. I mean, I introduce celebrities to women too, and that, so over the years, I introduced Rod Stewart to Rachel Hunter. He married her.
Wow.
This, but not only that, I mean, lots of different people.
So is that a service that you provided back in the Club Young days? Or are you still providing that service? Because, I am a single gal.
Well, I'm sure there's the right guy for you. Look, if I
You
do,
have to be careful what you tell me because I'm all into whatever the next like fantastic thing you say. I'm like, I want that match service. It's,
I could have done that actually in match service. I would have made a fortune.
you would
But
have.
it was a free service for, just out of the goodness of my heart, because I know people. I'd know there because they'd come in and visit me at the club and I'd watch them. I'm a people watcher too. So I'd kind of learn their personality, who they gel with, who they wouldn't, how wild they are, how wild they're not. And, and match people with the right type of people. So, to me, it was easier to do because I see each personality coming in over the weeks, over the months into my environment, right?
Yeah. Well, I have the, oh, go ahead.
So, that club business was definitely like good for lots of, I mean, even like introducing movie stars to movie stars who have never met because they're busy and they're in different times and doing different movies. And hey, have you, I introduced Leo DiCaprio to Matt Damon. He'd never met him before. At my club that happened. There's been so many, different instances I could mention, over my life.
For a second, I thought they did a movie together, but no, that was Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
They did do one in the end. Yeah, they have now, but I was the first introduction.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Can I ask you what brings you your greatest joy?
Well, I mean, I have 2 children, right? So my boy and my girl. My
How old
son,
are they?
Jeffrey, is 26. My daughter's 24, Rebecca. So my children, for sure. I mean, I get to hang out with them now. That's the great thing about it, because I'm still, even though I'm not young as I used to be, I still like to get out and about. And when I take my to Hollywood events and parties, and they're happy to hang with Dad because, one, I know a lot of people, so I know how to get in every place, more or less. Everybody lets me in, no problem, because they know me. And then, I just enjoy being with them. We just have a great night. And, they go off and do their thing and I'm doing my thing. And then at the end of the night, we get out of there, get a slice of pizza and, go home. So it's...
yeah, I've seen some pictures of you guys, like you and your son out at a club, and he's about a little taller than you.
Yeah, he's 6'6". I'm 6'2". Yeah, he's a big boy.
Oh my gosh, he's 6'6". Yeah, because I see him and he kind of looks like you. Does he a little bit?
Yeah, he does a little bit. Yeah.
I'm just doing that face because he's always like, yeah, like. I think I'm like that too.
No, but so those, greatest joy, and then
I love that.
And then I got remarried in 2019 in England to Melissa, my sweetheart, and so. Just being blessed that way to meet the right woman again, that was a beautiful thing for me to have that happen to me again in my life. I'm a lucky man. So
I love that you used sweetheart, because when I met her, I was like, oh, that's exactly what I thought.
Yeah.
I thought she's so precious and she seemed, I don't know how to use the word level-headed, but she seemed just like, not a rock. I don't know what I'm trying to say, like a comfort to be around.
Well, yeah, I mean, she's a spa director running a lot of people, from the, the service providers to the staff.
Is it at the Peninsula?
Yeah, she's at the Peninsula in Beverly Hills. Yeah, it's a 5-star. So yeah, she has a certain, aura about her that she has to keep herself, very proper. I would say proper, because that's her environment she works in, right? So, I mean, believe me, she lets herself loose. But
no, the energy I got from her was loving and nice to be around.
Yeah, but a little guarded when she first meets people. Not like me. I'm straight in.
No. I think we're both very unusual that way. Well, for us, it's like everything's exciting, right? It's like, what's happening? Who's what? Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So there's another thing that you're involved in that I'm getting involved in, and I'm involved in with you. And I want you to talk a little bit about Gildable, because that's your baby right now.
Yeah, well, that's, I was kind of transitioning out of the club and bar industry. I had Pig and Whistle on Hollywood Boulevard for 20 years and COVID hit. So, we were closed for over a year and nearly a year and a half. And then, we really didn't have a patio at the Pig and Whistle, but I really loved the place. It was like, my go-to place. It's an old historical landmark. We bought back, me and my partner bought it back to Hollywood. But anyway, it was that time where I was like, I want to transition out of this business. It's a tough business to be in at the moment with the COVID and everything else going on in Hollywood with the homeless and stuff. So I decided to let it go, and we sold it out. And then I was looking for my next venture. And obviously with all my connections, I talked about all the agents and managers and celebrities and influencers who I've worked with over the years. These guys came to me out of Boston, these MIT grads, young guys, really smart, that heard my name through a couple of people, and I got a call to meet them. I met them at LAX, and we had like a 4-hour meeting. They rented a conference room at a hotel. The next, couple of days later, they offered me to join the company. They'd been working on this platform for about 8 months, and it's called Gildable, gildable.com, which is Gildable, Gildable. And it's a platform where you bring down images off your Instagram. So with your iPhone, everybody has an Instagram now. So what you can do is you go on the Gildable platform through your iPhone. You can sign up to either be an influencer, or you can be a fan. And for an influencer, you sign up, and then it says create packs, and then you'll create your NFT trading cards through your Instagram account. So you allow it to go into your Instagram account. You pick like 7 images. You pick 5 common cards. You pick a rare card and a legendary card.
Wait, what do people normally pick for the legendary card?
A picture what means a lot to them, and they probably got a lot of likes on, or it just means something to their who they are.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes it's a sports star. It might have a particular picture he really liked when he was playing college ball or something like that. Some guy who had a good rip body at some point, and he's like, hey, I got to show my abs in that shot, but that's my legend, and girls, obviously, with mainly women, I think they like, it depends on their, passion project, I think, and what they're into, really. They'd put that up as their legendary.
I was honored that you asked me to put myself on there as an influencer, and my what's it called card?
Your NFT trading card?
No, iconic.
Oh, legendary card.
Legendary. So my legendary card was me doing the splits on the bar at Dantana's, because I didn't ever think that was going to happen, and it did, and it brought me such joy. I like doing the splits everywhere, but I couldn't believe I got on the bar at Dantana's. So that's my legendary.
That's a legendary thing to do, Leigh. That is
Thank
a legendary
you so
thing
much.
to do.
It's a very odd thing to do, but at the same time, because I love splits and doing them everywhere, and I just kind of joked about it. The bartender, he's really gruff, and he kind of was like, "Don't you dare!" And then he turned around, and I was like, "I think that was an invitation. If I read that right in his eyeballs, I don't think that was a real 'Don't you dare.' I think he was saying, 'I'm not looking.'" So I jumped up and did him and got the photo, and we had a good laugh. So it was fun. So that was my legendary. I was so excited about it. So I wonder what other people did.
Yeah, no, that is fun. So anyway, so then what you do is you got your 7 images picked from your Instagram post. So it's so easy for the influencer to do this. It's like you pick the post. The Gildable platform is built to make this so simple.
It's so easy.
And then you press create packs. Then Gildable takes those images, and through the blockchain Ethereum, we create NFT cards of the images you picked, and then we basically the packs are shuffled. They're random pictures into packs, so you don't know if you're going to get the rare or legendary card, but you get a pack. So a fan goes in, and a fan can buy their favorite influencer. So
did you hear that, fans? My fans, you can go to Gildable and buy my cards. Whoop, whoop.
Yes, there you go. And so what happens is that now they buy a pack, and they got a couple of pictures. Maybe the fan liked those pictures, or they wanted they want a different picture of that artist or that influencer, and then they go and buy another pack. And then if they get 2 of the same, they can trade it on the secondary market. So there's a secondary market trading place as well on Gildable. So, you can actually sell cards in singles after you buy them. if you get more than one. But if you get 3 of the same, you can create a black card. There's so many like fun things to do as a fan on Guildable with these in NFT trading cards. So it's a really popular. We're just
it's
about
the
to,
new thing, and you guys are
yeah,
about to launch.
yeah, we're about to launch with our big press, and probably at the beginning of April. And we were just setting up the network, and everything's running smooth. Everything's going as planned. So now we're creating some YouTube videos, just so they're tutorials on how Guildable works. So a fan or an influencer can go in there and understand exactly how to set it up and what the best way is to promote their packs. And the fan can go in there and learn the best way to buy and sell Guildable trading cards.
I have to ask you this. Thank you for that explanation. I have to ask you this. Before these MIT guys came to you, had you really ever heard about Ethereum or Bitcoin or NFTs?
Well, you certainly, I've been trading Bitcoin now for probably 4 years.
You have?
I have, yeah. I have account on Coinbase. I've had accounts on Coinbase. I have on crypto.com. So
wait a second. I just have to say, I just got Coinbase, and I just set up my Coinbase wallet. I feel so Elma, I'm getting in the game.
Yeah, good. It's a good time to get in now, because seems like always like right after Christmas and people are paying off their bills. I always think this is kind of how I logically think this happens, is that people get all these credit cards and they're like, I got to pay this off. So they take out their crypto savings and like pay off. And then obviously the market starts fluctuating a little bit, brings it down. And then and now we're going to see a build again all the way through this year. And it's just going to be going up, up, up. So that's my opinion on it. So it's a good time to get now. It's early year, and this is normally the time to get in.
Now, can I tell you a couple stats that I found amazingly wild? Only 8% of Americans are in the cryptocurrency space.
That is wild. I would have thought it was probably 28% if you asked me, because it seems like everybody knows what it is, but they're not obviously in it. Then
most people don't even know what it is, Chris. Most people, like I talk to people like, I've heard about it. Especially my AM55 is like people I ask, they're like, that's what the kids are doing. I know, I'm fine how I am. And I'm like, no, lose that thought, because I just saw behind the curtain with this guy been kind of working with Tillman Holloway, and I've saw like what's available and the abundance that's available, and the people who have the Bitcoin when they're excited about something, how they can rally, how it's decentralized, how the government is not involved, because normally the government kind of decides everything regarding our money, and this takes them out of it, and it really puts the people in charge of their money.
Well, they're still taxing you on it, though.
Well, yeah, but they don't get to decide how it goes.
Right. They still tax you on it, but yeah, they don't.
They're not a player in the big picture.
Yeah, they can't just
they
say,
can't control it.
We're putting the interest up on this, or we're going to start charging these fees on it. No, they can't do that.
Right. And in the past, like the government would, in America, print off more money to cover this, and then that would throw everything off. And you can't do that with cryptocurrency.
Yeah.
It is what it is. So it's like this. As I learn more about it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is where it is right now, right? But like you said, this is our future. And I think one day everybody, Tillman Holloway was saying, I don't know if he said a token or an NFT, everyone's going to have their own NFT. And that's going to have your birth certificate. That's going to have your driver's license. That's going to have your immunization, your everything on it. So that's, what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that sounds right. I think, like NFTs, even to get into parties and stuff like that, VIP events, if you're not in a certain group of people and have these NFTs on your phone, like they've already started doing it with a couple of the NFT groups right now, where you have to own one of their to get into a particular event.
Yes.
So that's going to happen. Exclusive stuff's going to happen through NFTs. But no, you asked me a question. I've heard of NFTs. Yes, I had heard of them, but I didn't really know what they were, to be honest. And and learning about what they are, and like one of the things I'll say about Gildable is, think of a trading card like a baseball card. You got a rookie card of, say, Jerry Rice, or and that cut, or a famous baseball player,
George Brett.
Yeah, and these became very valuable pieces of like history, right?
Yeah.
But if they got damaged or bent, or someone put coffee on them or something like that, the value went away. If it got but with a NFT, it's always
Or if it burned up in a fire, or
with an NFT, it's always in a mint condition. So if you own it and it's a limited thing, it's always going to be mint. It doesn't break, it doesn't bend. So it's always going to be it's always mint and clean. So that's the great thing about it as well, is that you own it. It's not, and it is, and that is limited, like every other thing's limited. So it's called a non-fungible token. And that now is a limited edition, and you own a piece of that, and that's owning a piece of history. Even if it's owning a piece of your favorite influencer at that time, you own it. There's only going to be so many issued of that particular NFT, and you own that. If she becomes, or he becomes, a big name celebrity, or something dramatic happens in their lives, and you still own that a piece of them at that time of their life, right? So
so people should buy my NFTs from Gildable now, because I'm about to freaking blow up, and you're going to have it from the ground, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Right.
And it's and as a fan, people like to own a piece of their favorite people, and that's the truth, right?
Own a piece. I want you to own a piece of me, people.
Yes, they own a piece of you. That's
own
it.
A piece of me.
Yeah.
Hey, I heard, I make things up when I can't really remember the exact facts, so I'm going to make a few things up. But the guy who created Twitter sold his very first tweet, the very first tweet ever posted.
Yes. Yeah.
And I think it sold for $291 million.
Something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, good. I was close. So I had some facts right.
Yeah. Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's so incredible.
81 million, but he was 10 million off. No problem.
No, I'm going to Google that and see who's right. I'm not going to take your word for it. I really think I nailed that one. So you are a complete pleasure.
Thank you.
So happy I met you that one day at that pool party. And I'm so happy you're married, happily married, and that you love your wife. And I'm so happy that I get to do cool business ventures with you.
Yeah.
And I think that together we'll make some magic happen. And I'm excited about that.
Thanks, Leigh. It was great. Are we done?
Well, I was just going to remind people to check out Chris Breed and the Breed Life
Foundation.
And I'll put links to all of this stuff when we post this podcast next week. It'll be next Thursday.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, and we'll put a Gildable and everything, so people can just click and find your stuff right there.
Yeah. Well, it was wonderful spending time with you this morning, Leigh.
Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, look, we could talk forever, you and I, but we can do that having a cocktail.
I hope so. Maybe at the next bowling party I didn't get invited to. Come on, Chris, get me back on your freaking radar.
Yeah, get me back on the list. Yeah, I met some good people last night, actually. It was fun.
Oh, my gosh, I love it.
And I got to roll a little bit. But yeah, great. Thanks so much. And anything you need from me, I'm only a phone call away.
And the same for me, brother. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Bye.